Good evening, everyone. We shall begin now. And once again, thank you all for joining. Today's workshop requires you to have your diary and pen ready. And there will be some questions that may make you uncomfortable, but they're all in good spirit. This is an explorative workshop where you will dig deeper into yourself, however unpleasant it may be. And I think we can handle whatever is within our hearts because it's already embedded in our hearts, and we are going to open it further so that we get a clear airs from the soul. That means the light that we have been talking about all this time. When we are talking and saying, yes, there is a divine light in my heart, and we are meditating on it, now we are going to use that light to illuminate our heart totally and show things that we have been hiding under the rug. So let's begin with the goal, and we'll set our goals. For example, in a month's time, Daji's birthday is going to be there. From there, another 3 months is end of the year. From there, probably a month or so, you will see that it is Lalaji's birthday. And from there, another 2 or 3 months, you have Babuji's birthday. So you see, from August to April, we can have a busy calendar or a goal setting calendar, milestones filled with milestones, where we can progressively achieve small victories from today till, let us say, 30th April 2022. It's already that long. Okay. But the idea is the goal can be from as short as a month or as long as about 6 months. If once we get these goals and goal setting, what it needs, then we can set any goal for any length of time. And it's like a goal is more like running a marathon. You just take your time to finish it off. It's not like a 100-meter dash that in whatever the current record is, right? Like you finish it off in that that length. So it's you have to pace yourself. You have to see what works for you, what best for you, and in this process, the you have only two people who are going to support you. One is the internal master who you have, or the guide within the heart, which is ever willing to work with us. The second one is ourselves. So if I have to achieve something, I have to motivate myself, be friendly to myself, be as nice to myself as possible. I must love myself. So the exercise requires those prerequisites. That is, you want to achieve the goal and you are on your side and you take your heart's help, follow its guidance. So again, some of these slides we have already seen, and those of you who are attending for the first time, Lalaji says work comprises of the 5 principles, and we all know what these 5 principles are. I will allow you to read this. Take a minute to read this slide. Oops. So whatever our goals are, they are under the purview of this Prakriti or the nature. Nothing is outside the purview of this Prakriti. Unless your goal is the Purusha, the master, the real goal, which is beyond, and all the goal setting is within the realm of Prakriti. And once we attain a particular state, then we can wait for the master to give the gift of the goal. Or it's all a preparation. We prepare ourselves in a way that we become more and more open. We conquer the elements, we conquer the various qualities that we have acquired due to these elements. And like the qualities of sattva, rajas, and tamas, the three qualities which we have earlier talked about at length in previous sessions. But in summary, these five elements are the five elements of the heart region, and their energy counterparts from point 6 to point 10. These are the ones which are going to help in achieving our goals. We are going to harness the energy of these elements to power our goals. And for that, our heart needs to be open. We need to work with our heart. Now, these are the 6 questions that you need to have in hand: what, why, when and how, where and who. These 6 questions are going to help you or help us to clarify what is in our mind, what is the goal that we are seeking. And the goal may seem impossible to attain, but if you have eyes to see it, you can achieve it. If you feel in your heart that is a goal that you can achieve, it is possible. Like long before we have helicopters today, Leonardo da Vinci had already created models for a helicopter, but the technology of the time did not permit him to create it at that time. But the ideas were captured long before they materialized. So the one who sees the invisible can do the impossible. So today it may seem whatever goal we are going to talk about or set for ourselves, we may not even have an idea. But if we have a vague feeling of it, we can create an environment for it to manifest. So the 5 principles of achievement. So be ready with your diaries now. So you can choose the goals from one of these areas. So you can have individual goals, or you can work on relationships, or anything that has to do with family, or you can think of a goal that is about volunteering or helping in society. But if you pick one goal in each one of them and keep it aside, then you will have a longer roadmap and deeper involvement, because our life is not lived in isolation. We live in a society and we have responsibilities at various levels. For that, we need to allocate time and resources. So if your individual goal is going to consume everything else, then that life is not a balanced life. So pick one goal and we will work it out as an example. And then later you can do your own exercise after you've run through one particular example. Okay. So for example, let us say someone has taken a goal that is related to a fitness and exercise, or about reading a book, or to satisfy the inner need of the heart, whatever that need may be. For example, uh, how to feel contentment all the time. What is the one thing, if I have, that I'll be content all the time? Or for example, how can I have peace all the time? That's a heart related goal. It cannot be really translated into words or anything. We can only explore that in that way. So pick one area, choose whatever goal. For example, someone may say fitness, someone may say finding a new job or a promotion or something. It doesn't have to be a spiritual goal, but we will also look at how a spiritual goal can be made into a practical, measurable part, and we'll explore that now. So the first question, assessing your current situation. Where are you in life right now? What you can write down, what is your age, general things about your life, just a couple of sentences. On a happiness scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you? And we use that one to see which areas we can improve ourselves on. Okay, the situation that you are in, how can it be improved? What are you doing about a situation that you are in? For example, let us say I have a fitness goal, and right now I'm not doing any exercise, but I want to be fit. And let us say I'm weighing 120 kgs or 220 pounds or whatever it is. How do I lose 20 pounds or 10 kgs? If that is my goal, what am I doing today? What is my behavior towards that goal? Do I want to do it with love, or do I do it with lot of unhappiness, for example? So that's what you are going to capture with relation to your goal. What is it that is making you uncomfortable or unsettled in the current situation? Why do you want to have that goal? I hope that question is clear. So what am I doing now? Write it down. In relation to your goal, what is your behavior? Take a minute to capture some key ideas. You don't need to write about all three goals, but you write about one goal, whether that is about a so pick one of them as an example for today's session, and later you can work on others based on this exercise that we are going to do right now. Okay. So what am I doing now? The next question is, what do I feel about it? Let us say I am not happy with my fitness. What do I feel really in terms of that? So how is it affecting my behavior? What I feel, what is the effect of it? So you see, you have to go a little more deeper. Not only you have noticed that situation, you have noticed what you're doing about that situation, and how does that situation make you feel. Like, for example, I don't like being breathless if I take three floors or walk 5 kilometers, or if I can't walk 5 kilometers, I don't feel good about it. And that uncomfortable state, we are going to turn it to motivate and move forward. So please write about that feeling. So let us say if there is someone who is so spend so much time watching TV, and they like watching the TV shows, binge watching, for example, and they are unable to get out of their situation. That can be one goal, to divert all the time and effort into something else. So take a minute to capture key ideas. Now, what do I feel in my body? So the situation or sensations in your body. Like if I think of this fitness, I'm giving the example of fitness. If I think about it, I feel cramps in my legs. That means I want to lose weight, but the very thought of losing weight creates cramps in my legs, or something like that. And or for example, if I have to talk about a relationship, and I want to mend a relationship with someone, and the very moment I think about that someone, my in the gut there is some discomfort. So these are the things you need to capture with relationship to your current situation, from which you want to move away and go towards a goal that you're going to set for yourself. So if you're writing, I feel good, I don't feel good, you need to explore your more keywords to express your feelings. Don't just stick with good, bad, nice, not nice. stay away from these four and try to find feelings and emotions that can capture what you really feel inside. Sensations in the body. Scan your body from head to toes. Now the next question. How do I see myself? In, like, if you close your eyes and you are going through the same situation in life again and again, day after day, how do you see yourself? Do you feel energetic? Do you feel drained? Do you feel tired? What kind of image you are getting when you close your eyes and try to image yourself in your mental screen? Again, it's an exploratory exercise. So please explore yourself. So when you see yourself, that picture, the mental picture you just had of yourself, what thoughts do you get? Suppose a person who's exactly like you, going through the same situation, is in front of you. What do you think? And capture all the thoughts. We are not comparing ourselves with anyone. We are comparing ourselves with ourselves. So if I meet a same exact person who's exactly like me, what do I think of him? Am I happy? So please capture your thoughts in your diary and save it in your diary, and we will explore our thoughts and feel comfortable with ourselves. Okay. Now Let's pause here for a second and review what we have done so far. We have answered 5 questions related to the current situation we are in, or current life we are, whatever is going on around us. We have just taken stock of it. It may be about fitness, it may be about family, it may be about spiritual goal, whatever you chose to work with. Now, how many of you are comfortable with the current situation that you are in, or the current life that is going? How many of you have become uncomfortable? So you can say uncomfortable you, comfortable C. Just type in the chat box. Good. Lot of use, some C's, but majority are use. So people who are with C's, we need to find more fire for them. If you are too comfortable with your current lifestyle, then yes, it is good, but what will motivate you to look for more? And if you are comfortable with your material life or worldly life, then what it takes to transfer this comfort into the spiritual life. So, and those who are uncomfortable, it is still good. Now we are aware of what our uncomfortable zone is. And now we know how to create a comfortable zone for ourselves. And the goal is to move from here to there. Now, if you look at our prayer, it says, "O Master, thou art the real goal of human life." The second line says, "We are yet but slaves of wishes, putting bar to our advancement." And the third line is the key. "Thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage." So we are at this stage now, whether we are comfortable or uncomfortable. Now we will move to that stage with his help, meaning the inner master, the heart, which is going to guide us forward. Okay. So now let us look at the goal questions. So now, why did you pick this particular goal as something that you want to achieve? We are now moving on. So we just need to answer this question. Why this goal? Why not some other goal? What do you want to achieve? And by when you want to achieve this goal? And write it down in your diary. This is the next set of questions that we are going through. We moved on from the previous exercise of comfort and discomfort. Now we are going to a place where this having achieved that goal, the current situation changes, the current lifestyle changes, something changes from our current situation. So why this goal? And when you are writing words, see the energy from which it is coming from, how deep it is. So next question is, what are the benefits of achieving the goal? What are the benefits of achieving that particular goal? What are the benefits of mending a relationship with someone, or losing those extra pounds? And if these are not strong enough, then you don't have a goal. If your discomfort is not strong enough, or if your benefits are not strong enough, you'll have less motivation to achieve anything. Who do you want to be? This is your goal image. Like, how, what does this goal make you? Like, for example, it may make me fit, it may make me more peaceful if I mend that relationship. And when I think of that image of myself, that goal image, I find myself happy, for example. So try to see that picture in your mind, and and describe how you feel about it. Who do you want to be? So if someone said, okay, I want to be a millionaire, there is a state of being, it says millionaire, that probably will only mean that there's $1 million in this bank account, for example. But how does it change this person? What does it do? How does that person become? Or what will he be? That's the question here. Who do you want to be? I want to be like the master, for example. What does that mean? Next question. How does it feel like to achieve the goal? Let us say you have achieved the goal that you set for yourself. What will you be thinking? What will you be feeling? Next question. If you have seen any hurdles, how does it feel to overcome them and achieving the goal? Suppose my fitness goal, for example, walking 5 kilometers. It is composed of smaller segments. That means going downstairs, putting on shoes, going outside the door, and start walking a little bit. If not 5 kilometers, maybe till the end of the street, until the end of the street. And before I know it, the 5 kilometers are completed. So how does it make me feel? It makes me feel, it's a small victory that I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. It reinforces my image of myself. I become friend to myself. So overcoming hurdles, how does it feel? Next, we'll briefly see our prayer. Now, this prayer is again very simple. It says, "O Master, thou art the real goal of human life." Can we write this as our goal in our goal chart? Okay, I'll achieve the real goal of human life in 6 months. How do we know that we are actually achieving it or not? The second line is much easier. We are yet but slaves of wishes, putting bar to our advancement. We did that exercise just now. We know what is stopping us from being who we can be. So the second line is more tangible than the first one. And thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage. So we have also determined what is this stage, but we don't know what that stage of, "Oh Master, thou art the real goal of human life" is. But if I have taken this as my goal, probably there is something else I can do about it to make it more specific, so that I can measure my performance against that specific goal and see that I'm able to achieve it. And it is relevant to my current lifestyle. And it is time bound, that I can do it in 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, whatever the timeline I've set out for myself. So if someone has taken up that spiritual goal as their goal, for example, how do I translate this, "Oh Master, thou art the real goal of human life"? I don't know what it means, let us say. So I got a hint from Lalaji's Principles of Conversation. It says a civil tongue is a prerequisite to achieve the goal of human life. Now it makes more sense. Okay, if I achieve prerequisites, there is a chance that I can achieve the next step, or I have attained all the prerequisite to fulfill that goal that I'm aspiring for. I'm breaking it down to make it more specific. And I can measure this, whether I have a civil tongue or not, based on the responses that I receive from the conversations I have with friends, family, strangers, the rest of the world. So if I look at it further, it says a polished tongue in discourse or conversation influences humanity and reigns supreme. That means as I change my language, the way I deliver, the way I speak, there are positive results that will come to me. That is the assurance that Lalaji is giving if you practice his principles of conversation. And they are directly tied to the real goal of human life because it's a prerequisite. Now, for example, I am practicing this and I have a heated discussion with one of our fellow brothers or sisters. Then they may mock me saying, oh, you preach about civil tongue, you preach about polished tongue, but look at how you're talking, how your behavior is right now. That's the signal that something else is missing. And it says, Lalaji says, cool and calm disposition alone is required for spirituality. Now I know what my goal is and how to achieve it, because now it is more specific. First thing is I need to have cool and calm disposition, and then I cultivate civil and polished tongue during discourse and conversation so that I fulfill the prerequisites for the goal of human life. So even a prayer, like, anything can be converted into this smart goals. For example, the more specific it is, the more better it is, so that we can measure what we want to achieve, for example. Now, what do I do? How do I achieve it? Then I can set out a timeline for myself, saying that, okay, I will deliver my talk like this, or I will have a conversation like this, and I will eliminate times when I am disturbed, like when I don't have cool and calm disposition. Until I achieve it, I'm not going to speak to anyone, for example, because Lalaji says anger is poison to spirituality. So if I know already that storm of anger that is brewing in my heart and I'm losing my cool and calm disposition, why do I want to venture into any conversation with anyone at that time? And it appears very simple, but I can tell you that it is very difficult to practice. You may challenge yourself to take this up and see how our own kith and kin, take advantage of our conversation style. They will say something and you are not allowed to respond or react. Because they'll say, oh, look at you, right? Then what will you do? So these are some high level expectations from us. And when I say us, people who are really serious about changing the life for good, total 180 degrees, total mastery on the self. And Daji recently said, for big things, we need big sacrifice. If you want to achieve something big of that magnitude, then we should wage at that level. So I hope we got some working solution or working state from looking at this goal picture. So anything that we want to practice, anything that we want to do takes effort. And, people who said they were uncomfortable before, does this exercise give you a platform where you can actually see yourself achieving that goal? Do you see yourself achieving that goal? Now, let's do a small exercise. Close your eyes and just do a mental overview of your goal. Whatever you have written that I must achieve in 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, whatever the time period is. Just close your eyes and think about it. So on the day you achieve the goal, see how you feel like, how you are looking, how you are appreciating your success. What are you doing? Let your heart and body be filled with the feelings of achieving that goal. Allow that feeling to gravitate, to find its natural place in your body. See the shift in your body's sensations and condition. You can think it, see it, feel it. It is all the same. How do you describe the feeling? Peaceful, happy, contented, jubilant, any word that comes to your mind. Identify that feeling. Allow this feeling to sink into your heart. Allow the heart to absorb this feeling. The joy of success, the wonder at your accomplishment, and the confidence that you are oozing. They all find their place in the heart. Allow that image of yours to gently merge into yourself. You may open your eyes and write down your feeling, that core feeling that you felt in your heart. And this is your anchor. Whenever you feel down or not motivated, you trigger this feeling. So to achieve the goal, you can use the feeling, or you can think of the goal and generate the feeling. Either which way you can use. And if you feel little stress, it is all right too, because you are thinking about the process, how to achieve. But if you trust your feelings and make room for these feelings, you will gravitate to your goal. It's like river flowing to the ocean. So yeah, please record it in your diaries with as much detail as possible. You know, you can make it multidimensional by adding the soundtrack. What if you are playing as music, for example, when you are successful, or eating a particular dish and feeling happy, celebrating with friends, whatever it is, add as much detail as possible so that your goal image stays alive. So what else can we do? Currently, it's just a picture of most of us. How we, if we have to draw a picture of our relationships with the world, right? We may have master here, we are the center of our world, our family, friends, work, extended family, broad categories, okay? And if you want, you can draw more circles and fill up with more things. But each one of these circles demands certain amount of energy from us. Like, for example, even with the master, like, unless I meditate, he cannot help me. Unless I do my cleaning, he cannot help me. And for doing meditation, cleaning, prayer, I need to take interest and get involved. So there is a energy that I need to put in. For example, bedtime prayer. By the time we hit the bed, we are too tired to offer bedtime prayer. So how can master help in that situation? So it actually shows how we are spending our energy and where we are spending our energy. And if I can suggest, let us say, for example, I say, okay, where can I save my energy very quickly? And I take the next example. So all my extended family is routed through the family, and the direct interaction, meddling with their affairs. The moment I stop, all that energy is mine again to repurpose. It doesn't mean that I'm not taking interest in my family or extended family. It is just making sure that it is properly channeled. Like, for example, I don't have to get involved in my child's friend's life or extended friends, extended family. Like something is going on, I can tell my child and say, okay, your friend, he comes and says, my friend is going through this. I can probably tell my son to say, okay, you may probably offer him this, offer him that. So the delegation is being done. Who should handle what? So spouse, and your in-laws, all these things can be minimized in the sense that we don't have to spend extra energy. You may disagree, but again, it's a simplistic approach. So please forgive me for that. If it sounds too simple, and if you are going through, your situation is much more complicated than this. But in essence, this is how things are. So I can save that energy. And what do I do with that saved energy? I can repurpose it again to one of these areas. Or I can better manage my energy by moving myself out and putting master in the center. When I say master, take it as the heart, the divine guide who's seated, who's helpful, the heart, that source of light, love, that is helpful. I make that as my priority and I direct everything from there. So all connections are in the master now. Everything comes to me from the master. So what happens? My attitude immediately changes. If something is coming, I'll accept as divine blessings. This is one way of practicing one of the maxims. The master is at the center. Everything, irrespective of success, failure, good, bad, anything, it is coming to me from master. So this can help. The other way to do it, I'm still here engaging on a relationship here where I have to spend and receive. So we can mature it even further, where I am surrounded by the master and I'm enclosed in the master. All connections are in the master and I'm also part of him. This is based on, for example, a high ambitious goal, let us say, where, yes, so far I've been meditating on the divine light or the master's form or whatever has inspired me from my heart. Now the inspiration is, how can I make my master think of me? Like Kabir says, Mera Ram mujhe bhaje, paun vishram. Meaning, if my Lord remembers me and meditates on me, then my heart will find solace. So from a small shift in where this I goes and the intention behind it, success or failure are dependent. So where is your I? If we can answer that and track where our I is, we will find all the energy, all the resources that we need to achieve any goal that we want to achieve in this life.